Most men will never date their dream girl, and it's not because she doesn't exist, and it's also not because you're not worthy of her. It's simply for a small number of reasons that could have been completely avoided. So in this video, I want to share these reasons with you and make sure that you don't fall into that same trap. The first thing, the most important thing that I notice when I talk to people that want to fix their dating life, that don't really know what the next step for them is, the first thing I notice is that most men don't know what kind of women they actually want in their life. Sure, they're able to describe it on a superficial level, but they don't know it deep down. What type of women do I want? What character traits do I care about? What values do I care about in a woman? And if you don't know what you're looking for, then you're essentially talking to everybody. And when you're talking to everybody, you're losing a lot of time, you're wasting a lot of time. So take 20 minutes, sit down with a sheet of paper and get very specific on what kind of women do I like physically? What do they need to look like? And then what character traits do I value? What do I like that they do? What hobbies should they have, right? Maybe you can nail it down to that point, right? Just get very specific and then ask yourself, what values do they have to have? What are my values? What values do I care about? And what values do I care about in women? Now, once you got that list, you know what you want. And that's going to lead you to another problem, the problem of being too selective, right? So on the first side is men that don't really know what they want. And on the other side is men that are too selective. Now, it's important to know what you want in an ideal state. But when you are too selective, essentially you're filtering out everybody that doesn't tick all of the points on your list. So what you're going to do now with that list that you've created is you're going to start asking yourself which ones of these points on your list are things that are non-negotiable. So either she has this or she's just out, or it's something that you're willing to settle on, right? You're like, well, that's a nice to have. And if she doesn't have that, I'm okay with that. But it would be nice if she had that, but I'm okay if she doesn't have it, right? Select it into these two groups, because now all of a sudden what's going to happen is you will notice that many of the points are non-negotiable, but a large portion is just a nice to have. So what that does is you will know what to look for without limiting yourself. And if you know what to look for, that is your ideal. This is what you would want to have in a perfect world. This is your dream girlfriend. But this would still be a pretty good version of that, right? It might not be perfect, but it would still be pretty good if she fulfilled just a large portion of these things. So get very specific on that. Now, once you know what kind of women you like, the next thing that you have to do is ask yourself what kind of men these women will most likely want to have in their life. And are you that man? Be very honest with yourself, and that can sometimes hurt a little bit. Are you the kind of man that your dream girlfriend wants in her life? And if the answer is no, then you have to figure out what you can change. What do these women, your dream girl, what would she want to have in terms of a man? What qualities does he have to bring to the table? Does he need to change something in the way he dresses? Does he need to change something in the way he talks? Does he need to make more money? You need to think about these things. What values do you need to have? Once you know this, and in some cases it's just a bit of a guess, right? But you can make a guess based on your experience. What kind of man does she want? And how far are you from being that man? And once you know what you want and you realize that you're not that man yet, the next step is going to be becoming that man. Full focus on becoming that person, becoming that next version of yourself. And if you've been watching my content for a while, you probably know what I'm going to talk about next, because the next level, once you know what you want and you know who you want to be, the mistake that most men that have these two things, they know what they want and they are the version of themselves that the women also would want to have in their life. The mistake that they're now making is that they're not working towards creating that connection. And you can only create a connection if you expose yourself to meeting women, going out, saying hi whenever you see a girl that you really like, using dating apps and making sure that you actually go on the dates with the women that you want to meet, using every bit of your life, leveraging it all, leveraging your network, going to have lunch in places where it's more likely to meet girls you like, right? I'm going to post a video here that I've made on exactly that topic, where you structure your life in a way that allows you to meet more of the women you want. Once you did that, your life is going to transform because you know what you're looking for. You are the person that these women are looking for. And now what you're doing is you're putting yourself in a situation where you allow yourself to meet the women and allow the magic to unfold almost automatically. Now, that being said, if you've done all of that and you notice that many times when you meet women, it simply doesn't seem to click, then that's usually something in how you communicate. And that's something that I'm not going to talk about in today's video. I've talked about this in a ton of different videos. If you want help with that specific part of your life, there's a link down below. Hop on my Calendly, let's have a chat, let's see what exactly you're struggling with, and I'm going to help you understand exactly what it is, where you're fucking up, what are you doing, what's the mistake that's recurring in your life that is leading to that negative outcome. That being said, I'll see you, at the end of this video, I'll see you in one of my next videos.